General Offenses Code to add a new chapter 540, prohibited camping of the Canton Codified Ordinances.
Mr. Chair, members of council,
Mayor.
this is a no camping ordinance that was recently in the repository within the last few days. I think it went out Sunday. I want to be very clear, even though the article could have probably been 3 pages long, I want to be clear that this ordinance is not intending to lock anybody up in jail. And I want to repeat that. Our intent and the city's intent is not to round people up in our town and lock them up. It's not. We've had a no camping ordinance in our Canton parks since 2016, and this ordinance does mirror that. And I would probably venture to say that as far as any individuals that have been arrested for camping in our parks, is probably 0. So there is a violation if somebody, and this is, I want to stress this is city property only, okay? If somebody would be in violation of the no camping ordinance, the council would approve, it is a minor misdemeanor and a $50 fine. But we are also working with the local judges in Canton Community Court. So let's just say somebody, even if we had an individual that was homeless in our community, which it is increasing every day. I'm going to be blunt about this. I'm very grateful that we have the resources that we have, and I'm going to touch on what those resources are. But there are communities around us in the city of Canton that will never have resources because, to be blunt, they don't want those people, those individuals in their town. Do I have some of the issues that I've seen in the last 18 months? Have I seen people defecating within our city and downtown, defecating down at Centennial Plaza, urinating in public, bathing in the fountains down there? Do I have an issue with that? Absolutely, I do. I want to take a moment to talk about the homeless encampment that we had in the Southwest End last year. That I've never, prior to getting this job, that I've never encountered anything quite like that, and it was a city down there by the skate park in the Southwest End. I am very grateful that we worked with all the different agencies and resources that are available in the city of Canton. With Scott Schneider from the Refuge, which he is here tonight, you had Julie Sparks and Aaron from ICANN, and we also had Canton for All People that worked diligently for 2 to 3 months to try to get those individuals out there and relocated. When you talk about safety, and that has to be the priority for everybody in our community, even our homeless population, we have an obligation to keep everybody in this city safe, and that includes everybody. There was a woman that was down in that homeless encampment that was 8.5 months pregnant. That if we wouldn't have intervened, she probably would have gave birth in deplorable conditions. Now, I understand that we are doing things that we have never done before. So here's what we are doing. We established a homeless task force, and we're meeting regularly just about every month. Because I am not the guy with all the answers, and I figured we would have better odds of putting our heads together and getting all the agencies that are available to see how we can, solve this issue in our community. We had a full-time warming center last year from December to the beginning of March. The city of Canton, prior to myself getting this job, the only time the city of Canton would do a warming center is when it got below 0, and they would open the Civic Center for a couple days. And we are going to continue that warming center also this year. We did cooling centers this year. Strategizing the city's housing needs for everyone in our community, including our homeless population. But we can't have the conversation about housing for homeless without incorporating wraparound services that address mental health and addiction. Currently, we're allocating $1.7 million, the city is, of home funds to ICANN for the Duncan Plaza project, which is going to be breaking ground this week, which is a monumental thing for homeless housing. The city is also supporting Refuge of Hope's $3.5 million addition to incorporate a women's wing, which the city or this area has never, ever had that opportunity. We're also working with Canton for All People to address and take a hard look at our homeless population with kids that are 16 and 18 years old. Because there is nowhere in the state of Ohio, and I believe there is a lady that's applying for a grant for $1.6 million, and I think she's got a very, very good shot at getting it. And she is currently working with Canton for All People to find a location. So you think about, we would be naive if we don't think there are kids out there at that age bracket that are homeless and living from couch to couch. I guess the bottom line is, the reason for the ordinance is, and I want to stress this, and I want to say it one more time, the intent of the ordinance is not to lock people up in jail. We are always going to have individuals that are going to take advantage of the resources that are available. But there is a percentage of individuals out there that flatly refuse to take advantage of the resources that we have available. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Member Morris?
Mayor, where does the no camping apply? Is that to parks or?
It's just city and owned property. Right now, we currently have a no camping ordinance that's been in place since 2016 for all of our camp parks. So any city owned property, to give you an example, that homeless encampment last year was on city owned property. And we just couldn't, that's why it took the amount of time to get those individuals out there, so.
Okay, because my understanding, I got a pretty good understanding of our park system, considering I'm a former park commissioner. You're not allowed in our parks between dusk and dawn anyway, they're closed. So, does this ordinance per se exclude the parks?
No,
Because we already have an ordinance on the parks.
no, parks would still be in play. This is a completely separate ordinance.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Good, back up.
Oh. Mayor?
Just for clarity, the current ordinance that we have on our books that prohibits encampments on parkland, essentially what this does is this takes what is already on the books pertaining to camping and parkland, it's been on the books since 2016, and just applies that to the rest of the city-owned property, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mayor,
Yeah,
I just have a question. You mentioned the lady's name that's getting ready to, work with?
Yeah, you'll have to forgive me, Member Smith, I just can't remember her name, but Chase, I'm sorry, so, yeah.
That's her name, Chase?
I believe it's Chase